Let's start with I believe again.
Okay, yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
I believe that working together, we can re-energize our local economy by bringing industry back to Bemidji, accelerating the growth of our existing businesses, and embracing innovation in everything that we do.
You know what, I'm sorry. I was thinking you went back to, you know, start at, this is George Prince.
Oh, no, I can do that.
Yeah, let's just start right there.
Doesn't like do a little formal here now or something with the wages. So let's just try with this is George Prince. I'll try to cut that again and see where we end up. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
This is George Prince, your candidate for mayor of Bemidji. So today we're going to run down to Q107 and we're actually going to cut our first radio ads. And this is something I've been kind of working on the last couple of weeks, and there have been a lot of the radio stations I've been talking to that want to write copy for me or write a script or create these ads for me, and the truth is I don't want them to do it. I know what's in my heart, I know why I'm running for office, I know what I believe in, so I think I've put together some notes on what I want to say, and I want to be able to go into the studio. I want to record something fresh. I want to record it from the heart, and I want it to convey to the people of Bemidji, you know, what I'm about and why I'm running and what I stand for. So I'm looking forward to it. Not sure exactly what to expect, but we're going to give it our best shot. I invite you to visit onebemidji.com to learn more, and I ask for your vote on November 4th so that we can get to work. I'm George Prince, and I approve this message. And I just did it again.
At least it's at the very end.
Right.
Prince.
Yeah. Let's start there.
Yeah.
So you ready?
No.
I'm smiling already.
Yeah.
We can re-energize our local economy by bringing industry back to Bemidji. Let's start with I believe again. Okay, Phil, I want to take that first ad one last time.
Okay.
Just one cut, one time.
Okay.
I want to see if I can do it better.
We can send this to other stations too.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm hoping. So let's just try this one more time.
Let me get a little bit of eye level.
First ad.
The first ad.
All right. I am ready. Anytime.
Hi, this is George Prince, your candidate for mayor of Bemidji. I believe in Bemidji. From the business owner who starts her business from scratch, to the teacher who inspires his students by teaching with passion and fire, to the person who carries out groceries in the driving snow, I can tell you firsthand, our community is comprised of people with passion, work ethic, intelligence, and integrity like few places on earth. I believe that if we are willing to set our differences aside and focus on the things that really matter to all of us, we can truly be one Bemidji and build the brightest and most prosperous city in all of Minnesota. I invite you to visit onebemidji.com to learn more. That's onebemidji.com. On November 4th, I'm asking for your vote, but more than that, I'm asking for your trust and commitment, because together, I believe we can build the community we want and our children deserve. I'm George with a J, and I approve this message.
Paid for by One Bemidji, George Prince for mayor.
That's it.
There it is.
There it is.
Like.
See? I knew I had one more in me.
Yes. Hey, there it is.
I was telling you, you're having a La Valley moment.
Yeah.
When we're doing product creation, process innovation, all the stuff that we do, this is what we do. We lock the door,
yeah.
We put everybody together, and we start doing what we do. And when that happens, the energy level in the room goes up. People start feeding off of that. If you have trust, respect, and empowerment going on, people put their best out there, and what you get on the other side always amazes all of us that are there. We walk out and we go, wow, that was better than we ever thought that was going to be. And hey, you're right, we had some fun doing it. And buddy, you know, we all did work and got paid.
You got it, you got it, you got it.
You know, when you can do that, you really got something. So one thing people might not know about my role at La Valley Industries is that in addition to being CFO and part owner and all the other stuff I've got going on, I'm also our chief contract negotiator. And that is a really challenging role at times, because we're dealing on the other side with companies that are multinational conglomerates or corporations. So we're dealing with the Caterpillars and the Vermeers and the Stanley Black & Deckers of the world. And every time I walk in to negotiate a contract,
I'm walking into an environment where the deck is very much stacked against us. Typically, they require us to fly out to their turf, so we're in their offices, in their boardrooms, very much surrounded. They typically have millions, if not billions of dollars in assets at their fingertips and disposal to bring to bear whenever they see fit. And quite often they have an entire staff of legal people, lawyers, attorneys, paralegals, the whole deal, to be able to negotiate on their side. Into that environment, typically it's Jason and myself that walk in to get this deal done. And so when I walk into those environments, I already know what's going to be waiting for me there. There are no surprises. I've done this enough times now in my life to know fully what I'm getting into. At the same time, I also recognize the responsibilities that I'm carrying on myself in terms of, you know, we've got 25, actually now almost 30 employees and their families that are depending on me to walk into that conference room and negotiate a fair deal and get it right, so that when we come back, our future is secure and everybody still has jobs and we're continuing to move forward. Generally speaking, when I'm in negotiations, I'm always the why not guy. Typically, when you walk in, you understand all the reasons for why, but you have to be the one that's asking why not and enlarging the pie so that there's more benefits for everyone in that room to share in. And to me, that's very much the same analogy as it relates to our economy in the city of Bemidji. Is instead of sitting here and squabbling over limited resources, how do we make those resources bigger so there's more pie for everybody that's at the table?
So I wanted to get everybody together this morning because we have quite a few updates. I'm proud to announce that we've finally settled on terms, and we have now have a new field of use provider for our deckhand and pipeline product line, and that'll be CRC Evans.
So, you know, obviously we've been negotiating this contract really for almost 6 months. You know, several months before we terminated the agreement with PLM, we were kind of exploring what our options were, started having conversations with those guys. We were also talking to Cat Work Tools, and PLM had a high interest in re-signing, so we were kind of talking to all three of those parties and trying to make sense. One of the things we wanted to make sure was different this time around, no matter who we selected, was we really wanted to focus on field of use.
What you guys put out for us, right, in order to make these things happen. And of course, you know, I put an awful lot of pressure on you guys because of all the mud we throw on the wall, but it's the mud that we throw on the wall where we meet these opportunities that gets us a job that keeps us alive and keeps us thriving and keeps us growing. But in the end, it is a lot of pressure, and I'm asking a lot from you. But we just received that contract. We got a huge PO. It's a, you know, for us, like I say, it's a good guarantee next 2 years for sure that's going to help us thrive and survive. I'd like to take the opportunity and pay an extra week's payroll term this month, right? So I'm going to fit in an extra payroll for everybody, the same wage. So they'll get paid 3 weeks in a row.
So yeah, you know, basically the way this is going to work, you guys are getting a bonus check is what it amounts to of your normal salary. And so payroll isn't for 2 weeks, but we're actually cutting a special payroll that you're going to get this week. And yes, Rachel, you're looking at me, but I've been working on it. So they know. So we're going to cut you a payroll this week, and we'll cut you a payroll next week. So this week is just our way of saying thanks. You know, we're not there yet. We don't have a PO in hand. There's a lot of things that have to happen yet. But we got enough faith that we've gotten to this point, and we're just very appreciative of this whole group and everybody that works for La Valley to get us to this point. You know, we've really had to drive hard over the last 6 months and in the last year to really get to some places. And, you know, you don't always get to celebrate, right? Sometimes there's a fire and you got your hat on or you're putting something out, right? But this really is a big moment for us, and we're just so pleased about being at this place and just so appreciative of everybody who's helped us get here. So thanks, guys.
So that actually leads me to the second reason that I actually decided to file, and that's that I've seen so much infighting, especially over the last couple of years, between the townships and the cities as you know, we're arguing about annexation, these types of issues between, you know, Bemidji Township, Northern Township, and the city of Bemidji. I think most people are very well aware of that. When I look at that situation, I look at it and I see a group of people who I think probably all think they're doing the right thing to move our community forward. I doubt that there are any people on any of those boards that are intentionally doing something to create a problem or really don't want a resolution. Generally speaking, I think most people are trying to do what they see as in the best interest of their constituency. That's what you have on the left side of the road. On the right side of the road, I think to myself, at the same time as that's happening, we have, you know, our kids in the same schools. We stand in the same crowds at the same parades. We go to the events at the Sanford Center and we sit side by side. So how in the world can we do that, yet we can't come around a table and come to an agreement that makes sense for all of us? What's even worse about that is what happens in the aftermath. Inevitably, there will be some solution to all of this conflict. You know, there will be a final judicial decree or a final settlement or a final whatever it's going to be. But the day after, what happens then? You know, do people hold grudges for the next 5, 10 years and not work together and not pull together to make our community great because of all the damage and the harm and the hurt that, you know, all of these arguments have caused? I just find that to be unacceptable, and I think that overall we need better leadership so we don't find ourselves in those situations ever again. I learned a long time ago that the minute there's a lawsuit, the minute that there's an attorney involved in these types of situations, there are no longer any winners. There's just degrees of losers. That's all there is. You know, and at the end of the day, the attorneys that have represented all these parties will retire to their summer cabins, cash their checks, and have a great time, and we'll be left with the aftermath. You know, so my message has been and will continue to be, we are one community. We have one future. It's not as though the city of Bemidji can have a different future from Northern Township or Bemidji Township or Eccles Township or pick your township. When you really look at our community, you can probably take a 45-mile radius and draw it around the center of downtown Bemidji, and that's kind of our community. We have people that live inside the city limits that work in businesses outside of the city limits. We have businesses outside of the city limits that have employees there. There's all of this sharing of people and sharing of relationships, sharing of economic resources. And until I think we fully understand that, embrace it with both hands and recognize it and see ourselves as one community with one future, we're going to have more of this kind of stuff that we've just experienced between the city and the townships. And you know, as mayor, I would do everything in my power to never ever be in that type of situation, because I will always know there are no winners. There are no winners. Well, Bemidji, I think we just put a stake in the ground. See George run.
Next time on See George Run.
Deckhands, prepare for glory!
Look at that scary drag.
Where are you guys from? We are Valley Industries. We may be rookies, but we are fierce!
It's not the medical talk.
It was really kind of my first exposure to any type of racism or prejudice.
All right, I got the roster all Lavalletized.
We're very engaged, and sometimes it's hard for us to look up.
You're going to have that adrenaline rush because it's a race now. It's not just practice. It's not getting into the boat and thinking, oh my God, at the end of this hour, my arms are going to be rubbing. This is going to be about, hey, we're going for the Manufacturers Cup. Let's do it.
Here I'd had enough, so I slugged him.
See George Rowe.